Welcome back to Mind Over Mana. Today is episode 2 of 5 cards under $5. These are 5 cards I think would be at home in anyone's collection, all under $5. Let's get started. But first, if you like videos like this and you'd like to follow along, subscribe to the channel, hit the like button, leave a comment. It really does go a long way. First up, I've got to start right out of the gate, and I think it's time, before time runs out, Serra Angel from Revised. This card is synonymous with Magic. It's one of the most classic cards you can imagine for obvious reasons. The revised version is gorgeous. This to me obviously is the last time that iconic image was really used in a way that felt old. From here we go on to 4th edition and 5th edition. Those are great sets, but they just don't quite feel the same as the dateless bottoms of Revised, Unlimited, Beta, Alpha. I started buying this card up not long ago for around $1 near mint, and it's only crept up since then. The card is sitting at just below $5 right now a copy, I think for obvious reasons. Now, Revised is really hot right now. There's a lot of money that flowed into Revised in the last year, so Revised is a little overheated right now. I expect the price of this card, though, to stay put or only get more expensive, unlike some of the other rares that might cool down. There is nothing like this card. This is an absolutely iconic piece of Magic history. I have a nice collection of these now. I would love to add some more. I might do so because I think this is one of those cards that people just are not going to let go of as easily because of the low price point. It's harder to move single cards that are only a few dollars. And it's just something that is really appealing to people they're going to keep. So if you do not have a clean, old copy of Serra Angel, I absolutely recommend picking one up. Next up is another classic, Keldon Warlord. To me, again, similar to Serra Angel, this just screams classic Magic. From the art, to the vibe, to the atmosphere. This card to me was, again, an example of one of those just big, simple cards from back in the day. It is iconic looking, if anything else. So I'm going to recommend Keldon Warlord, the Unlimited copy, if you can get your hands on it. Unlimited is drying up. I think the flow of money into Revised also followed the flow of money into Unlimited. This is one of those cards that right now is only a few dollars, but think about where Alpha and Beta went. Unlimited's print run was really not that much larger than those two sets. The uncommons were only about 59,000 ever printed. Commons were about 214,000, so those numbers might sound big, but keep in mind that the Unlimited uncommons are as rare as some of the more rare uncommons from Antiquities. So that's how old we're talking about here. Even in Arabian Nights, the commons that are flying off the shelves now were printed at around 60,000 to 90,000 copies, some about 124,000. So 59,000 copies of an Unlimited uncommon, it's not a lot. It's not a lot at all. So you can pick up Unlimited rares, Unlimited uncommons, and especially commons for really cheap now relative to how scarce these printings are. I highly recommend adding a Keldon Warlord to your collection if you hadn't thought about it before. Up next, what a strange card, Sewers of Estark. I'm going and recommending the Arena book promos from back in the day. These cards have a funny story. They appeal to me, but they may not appeal to everybody. Harper Prism was a publishing company that put out the very first Magic the Gathering novels back in 1994, and the very first Magic novel ever was called Arena, and it was the story of Garth One-Eye. You probably remember Garth One-Eye from the most recent Modern Horizons 2 set. He has a really cool activated ability that ties into the theme of the story that was actually written about him. If you bought that book, there was a mail-in for a promotional card that had the little paintbrush as the kind of set symbol. There weren't a ton of these. It's not a ridiculously scarce card. That's why they're only a few dollars. All of the cards that came out in this, had Arena along with Sewers of Estark for the book Arena. There was Windseeker Centaur, Giant Badger, and then the most infamous. Imagine sending in a postcard and someone mailing you this Mana Crypt, of course, from Final Sacrifice. But I think these are just really unique. If you're talking about a way to expand on your collection, I would add these while you can. famously, there are some other interesting promo cards I'll cover on another video that were just not doing much forever. People caught on to the idea that they were really unique, they were really scarce, and then boom, they dried up or their price skyrocketed, fivefold. I think a Sewers of Estark would be a really cool pickup. You could sub in here, Windseeker Centaur, Giant Badger, as you see fit. Arena's a little more expensive, and Mana Crypt obviously is $300 something for the original printing. But if you hadn't thought about these before, give it a try. Maybe pick one up and see how you like holding it in your hand. Up next is just a card that I love the art for, Rajon Spirit from Legends. There is nothing remarkable about this card other than its look and its atmosphere. It's got this day-glow 1980s feel to it. I have always been drawn to the art in this card. Leave it to Christopher Rush, right, to do that. Something about the palette, this sort of airbrushed feel. I feel like Ron Spencer's old artwork I always knew I was looking at Ron Spencer's old artwork because it had this kind of bubbly airbrush feel to it. But in this one, I get this like day glow, Miami sunset type of vibe. It doesn't look like a winged spirit. It looks like a person wrapping up in a beach towel in Miami in the 1980s, where somehow everything was just neon pink all day. I don't know. I just love this card. The fact that it's a green creature, and if you isolate the artwork, it has not a single piece of green in it, not a speck, is really interesting to me, actually. I think that's what ties it together, because the green border of the card is sort of its own addition to the color palette. So the green, purple, pink, orange being all tied together there, something just looks awesome about this card. That's really it. It's not good. It's a 3/2 for 4 that you tap on turn 5 to cause a creature to lose flying, basically. Nothing special. It's been reprinted even. This was considered what's called a U1, so it appeared one time on the uncommon sheet. There are about 57,000 or so copies of this card floating around out there. That's, again, I go back, that's not as many as you'd think. Sounds like a pretty big number, but remember that this card's had to survive like 26 years of acquisition, play, use, storage, moving, everything. So finding crispy, clean copies of this stuff, it's only gonna get harder. Last up on our list is Mysterious Cocoon, the Japanese variant from Ikoria, Lair of Behemoths. Obviously, this is a super unique take on a Magic card. I thought that the Japanese kaiju tie-in with this set was incredible. I'm a Godzilla fan. I have been for a long time. I thought this was a home run, and it's why some of the collector booster boxes for this set are so expensive. They've got the Godzilla variants inside. So this is one of the Godzilla variants, but I will say this is the one time where I was totally okay with the box topper type of cards being uncommon, even though in a previous video I mentioned that when I got my box topper in my first Ikoria box that I opened, it was an uncommon and I kind of felt bad. The Japanese versions of them, though, I can buy for 25 cents or 50 cents, so I'll make that trade-off there. I'll take getting a crummy box topper on my end for the ability to buy these absolutely jaw-dropping looking cards for really cheap. So this card is gorgeous. It's obviously kind of a throwback to the movie Mothra, which was 1961. There's a whole slew of Mothra movies that came out in the sort of Toho era Godzilla franchise, but this one is hearkening back to an iconic image that sort of repeats itself in subsequent films. But what a gorgeous piece of art. What a gorgeous card. I think that there's almost a level of authenticity here to this particular type of creation. The collaboration with Japanese artists, the sort of art styling, the subject matter, it all feels very real to me. I really like this. I thought it was handled well, and I admire Wizards for having handled things like this going forward too, to sort of try to keep things authentic to the source material. So really, really cool card, so beautiful. For 50 cents, I at the time grabbed a handful of these because I just love it. It's so neat. The foil, I think the foil's kind of crept up there if you can find one, but mine are non-foil, and I recommend if you don't have a slot in your binder for something like this, go ahead and pick one up. It's such a cool looking card, really unique. I'm not sure when they're going to do something this out there again. So especially a cross-media tie-in for the box topper or alternate art stuff in a set. So very, very cool moment in Magic history here. That's it. There you have it. Episode 2 of 5 cards under $5. What do you think? Any of these seem strange to you? Would you have put something else on this list? Is there something you've been collecting lately? Do you think $5 is kind of a waste of time? I'd love to know what you think. Leave a comment below. If you enjoyed this video, consider subscribing to the channel. It helps us grow, it keeps you in the loop, and it ensures that you won't miss another installment of this episode or any of the other segments we do. Also, you can stay tuned for weekly pack openings, and at 100 subscribers, we're starting some pack giveaways and lots more down the road. So thanks so much for watching, and happy collecting.